All right. Well, you guys good? Awesome. We'll have very nice to have you guys here with me today. This is a little different talking in a fishbowl here, so we'll kind of see how this works. But what I'll go ahead and do is I'm just going to share a little bit about what I've been doing over the last year. And then if you have any questions or any thoughts or comments, we can go ahead and chat about it, discuss it a little bit. So last December, I asked a question on Facebook. And the question was, if you received an extra $500 every month, what would you do with it? How would a basic income impact your life? Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the concept, a basic income is essentially a periodic cash payment unconditionally delivered to all on an individual basis without means test or work requirements. So a great example of actually a basic income in practice is the Alaska Permanent Fund. So right now, every citizen in Alaska receives a portion of the oil revenue as a dividend on an annual basis. So this actually adds $6,000 to $12,000 a year to a family of 4 in Alaska just to kind of supplement their basic needs. So now I've actually, when I started this site that I have now, or richeryou.com a year ago, I decided to start it with a little bit of a twist. So what I did is I launched a basic income giveaway where I committed to giving away half of what I make from the site to my readers as a basic income. So last December, I had my first drawing where the winner received $500 a month for all of this year, and I'll continue to give it to her for all of next year. And now this coming December, I'm doing my second giveaway drawing where the winner will receive that same prize of $12,000 spread across 2 years. So it's definitely gained quite a bit of traffic and attention. People have been very fascinated with the concept of it, right? But to enter this giveaway, all you need to do is enter your email address. However, I added a few additional ways that you could gain further entries. And one of those was to answer this question on Facebook. So essentially what happens is when people answer this question, they're gaining additional opportunities to receive a very real $500 a month for 2 years. Which now brings me to the responses. Over the last year, I've had nearly 2,000 people tell me on Facebook how a basic income would impact their life. And the responses have been very eye-opening. Actually, it turns out, to very little surprise, that a huge number of the responses were people saying the $500 would help them cover student loan debt or medical bills. So you end up with a lot of responses like these. Like Kathy, who says, this would pay off my medical bills and make a significant dent in my student loan payments. Or Kate, who says she'd apply it towards her premiums on healthcare. Or Carrie here, who says, a basic income would help me reach my financial goals, pay off my student debt, and maybe even have some travel funds. So clearly there were a lot of responses of people that were just trying to cover these basic bills. There were also people who were very excited to use this money to be a little philanthropic. So I ended up with some responses like Deirdre here, who said she would pay it forward. Or James, who said he'd give gifts to everyone. And Linda here, who said she'd give 10% to charity each week, $100 towards her credit card bills, $100 to a new car, she'd invest $100, save $100, and put $50 either towards food or towards entertainment. So she had a great plan lined up there of how she would spend this money. But now you might naturally be asking, right? With all of these lazy Americans we have in the country, there've got to be some people who would have some less than noble uses for this money. And it turns out that there actually weren't that many crazy responses. But I did get Brian here, who said he'd spend the money on video games. Someone needs to have a talk with his mother, probably. But I also naturally had I had one person, Jen, who decided that she'd kind of use this as a platform to share that she didn't necessarily agree with this philosophy and didn't really agree with the idea of what I was doing. So how would Jen spend the extra $500 a month that I'd give her if she won my giveaway? She'd put it toward the bigger tax bill she'd have to give everyone else $500. So the irony was kind of lost on Jen there. But ultimately, what was really interesting to me was how quickly and how fast people can, or how much people can really share in just a couple of sentences, and how deep they can get. And so there were a lot of people who really kind of opened up financially and emotionally to the real challenges that they were facing, which ends up with people like Colleen's response, who says, my husband has been fighting the fight of his life. he has liver cancer and they stopped all treatment. And I would like the end of his life to be stress-free and fun. Or Sheila here, who said, a basic income would be a substantial thing for my family. I have 3 kids and my husband is disabled and I am currently only working part-time. The things we could do are nearly endless. However, I would have to say the money would go to pay off some bills and to purchase healthier food for my family. I even had 7 people who actually told me they were homeless, which included Joey here, who says, a richer you, I've been sleeping on a friend's couch for 3 months. I can finally afford my apartment deposit. My medical disabilities make it hard to save. So over the last 2,000 responses, essentially, that I've received, these are the most common responses that I got. So 25% of people said that they would use all or a portion of the money to either supplement their housing or improve their housing. As you can see here, 9% of Americans said that they would spend the money on food. So that means that 180 people who follow my blog have told me that they don't have enough money to keep food on the table. Medical expenses, education, transportation were all also very large expenses that people had. On the bright side, I did actually have 21% of people who told me that they would spend all or a portion of the money on investing, and 5% here who actually said that they would give a portion of the money to others. So there was definitely some positive responses to this as well. And ultimately, in short, I received, again, a plethora of responses over these last couple of years. And you know, as I look at it, the more I've read about it, the more I've researched it, I've really come to believe that a basic income could provide a very valuable benefit to many Americans. Right now, the way our system is set up is broken, and 2,000 people have told me their financial struggles, their emotional challenges, and how money could really play a role in just improving their overall lives. So I'm definitely very interested in the concept of universal basic income, and I think it definitely needs more conversation and discussion. I'm not 100% sold that it's the solution to everything, but I've enjoyed seeing the impact that, seeing the responses people have shared here, but actually seeing the impact of the giveaway I first ran. So Terry from Missoula, Montana won my first giveaway that ended last December. And Terry lives in Montana, and she's in her late 60s. She's now battling cancer for the 3rd time, and her husband died of cancer about 10 years ago. So her savings are completely gone. Medical expenses have eaten up everything she's had. So this $500 that I've been able to give her every month has really played a substantial role in just giving her a little bit more freedom and a little bit more flexibility in how she lives and what she does. So, you know, ultimately, again, I'm very interested in this idea of a basic income. And you know, there are a lot of brilliant financial bloggers here, and I'm completely okay if other people don't agree that a basic income is the solution to everything. I think what I'd like everyone here to really walk away with is the value that each one of us has in impacting people's lives financially. So all of you either write about finance, blog about it, talk about it, work in that industry, and really the work you're doing has the ability to really make a difference in these people's lives. And I just want to encourage you to keep doing that and just doing whatever you can to help, each one of these 2,000 people and the other millions of Americans and millions of people around the world who are just struggling to make ends meet. And so thank you for the work you do, and let's definitely keep it up. And that's the gist of my conversation. So are there any questions or thoughts? Yes. Great question. So how am I making the income that I'm distributing? So I've had a few blogs in the past, and when I launched this one last year, I decided to basically use some of the same tactics that I've used before. So I have affiliate programs. I write about personal finance topics. So again, just another personal finance blog, much like many of the other great ones here. Not quite as great as some of these, but the income from that affiliate revenue has essentially allowed me to give a portion of that away. So that's really how I'm financing it and funding it right now. And clearly, I actually yesterday gave a talk on using giveaways to grow a brand. So I've actually had 60,000 people subscribe through this giveaway over the last year. So it's been a very effective way to just kind of scale my audience and to gain access and visibility to people that I wouldn't have necessarily been able to get to that fast. So it's definitely helped my brand grow. It's definitely helped my blog grow. And then it's a fun hobby for me, so I've just decided to give a portion of that back to my readers and just to kind of raise awareness for this concept. So great question, thank you. Any other questions? No. You all right? That's a great question. Did I set it up as a nonprofit? At this point, I have not. I am actually I've been toying with that for a little while here. I know, it takes a little bit of work to set up a nonprofit. I know it's not substantial work. It just with that, there are a few additional, regulations and things that you kind of have to follow. So I've thought about the possibility of, could I scale this into a nonprofit where I receive donations from people? And if I started doing something like that, then I would definitely look at the nonprofit perspective. As it is now, it makes it very easy for me to kind of control where the money goes, how it works, by having it under my own name right now. But no, it's a great question. Anything? Yes. Yes. Did I randomly pick someone? So legally, if you run a giveaway, it has to be completely random. So a giveaway, people can't pay for it, otherwise that's a lottery. Contests are when people have to compete for it. So for a giveaway, legally you can't charge, it has to be completely random. So initially what I've done here is I've run giveaways to kind of raise awareness, to grow attention, to grow my brand. And ideally my long-term goal would be to maybe do one giveaway every year or two, and then in the meantime, if I have additional income coming in, use that to actually select people myself who, again, some of the people on this list here who I believe could really benefit from that basic income. So that's a great question, thank you. Any other questions here? All right, guys, well, thanks so much for joining me for a few minutes here. I really appreciate it, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks a lot.